Wow, guys, tonight is the big night. I know everybody has been waiting for this since it was announced. Everybody has been waiting for WWE to be streaming live on Netflix. And that's happening today, Monday, where are we? January 6th. It's hard to believe the year went by so quickly. It's hard to believe just Christmas and New Year's went by so quickly, 6 days in. So we're January 6th. And this is amazing, right? Because a lot of people, I know guys, been going between trying to find stuff on YouTube and having to watch clips, trying to find the right channels, having to subscribe to a whole bunch of different things. Like it's almost ridiculous. I know when, we started kind of trying to watch as much as possible, we had a problem finding Monday night for Raw, Tuesday night for NXT. There was some talk of what is it, the main event at some point. I Who knows, right? And SmackDown. I mean, like, and they're not all on the same network. Some of them in some places. So I mean, it gets tough, right? Trying to channel surf to find wrestling. So you know, at that point, I think a lot of people that enjoyed WWE and would have really enjoyed, the reemergence missed out just because of that, one little thing of not being able to get on the right channels. Funny enough, over the holidays, I was at my parents' house visiting, and it was nice to, sit on the couch, with my dad and just, dad and kids and just watch some TV. Funny enough, we went on YouTube, put on WWE, a clip of the show, whatever was the night before, 2 nights before. And, we were just watching it. We saw it already, but, why not? Right. So we're watching it. And my dad was just, you know, stuck, glued to the TV. And, it's probably something as a kid I watched. So, he saw that. He probably, watched a bit of it. I know when he was probably a teen, uh, the wrestling was a bit different, but he's familiar with it. Um, but after things go to having to pay for it, I mean, a lot of people aren't paying $20 a month just to watch WWE, right? And I was at that point where, I'll be honest, I was watching on IPTV, right? Because at least I got a bunch of shit. If I subscribe to our only provider for WWE, then I'm getting really nothing. Like it was a very pathetic assortment of uh videos that you could stream and watch. When the event started, you turned it on and there it was, and it was a horrible stream. Like it would buffer all the time. We're talking paying $20 a month to watch WWF, WWE, and having it stutter, right? And we're not talking on IPTV. We're talking on the actual authorized provider of WWE. So it really, really sucks sometimes. So going to Netflix was a great idea. I'm glad they've done it. My dad, he watches Netflix. He can pick up his remote, watch WWE whenever he wants. He doesn't have to wait till, 8 o'clock at night, stay up till 11. It makes no sense. So it's really good. I mean, people are just going to be blown away by that. And you know what? I think WWE was looking for their Drive to Survive moment. And this will be their Drive to Survive moment because it will allow them to branch off into storylines, into all sorts of things that aren't necessarily censored or have to go by, certain regulators and whatnot. So they have a bit more of what they could do with their creative, end of things, right? So it's really good. It's going to be a longer show. So we're starting with Raw, and that's going to be a longer show. It's going to be 3 hours. So that's going to be good. Hopefully, they're going to pack with more wrestling and less garbage because, sometimes they start bringing out these garbage, wrestlers and garbage plots and the same thing over and over again. And so things have been looking brighter. So hopefully we're not going to see too much of that, right? It's going to be able to watch the show anytime. And that's a plus because I know sometimes I can't stay up till 11 o'clock to watch wrestling because that's just not how everybody lives their life. So it's good. You come home from work, come home from school, come home from wherever, you can watch it the next day. So the kids are going to enjoy that more, right? You have that other side, the edge of your content, able to, push those boundaries. It's just going to make it such an interesting, uh, you know, reboot of Raw, right? And the really interesting part of it is you see there's a big, you know, a big interest in WWE over in England, over in France, right across Europe, right? India, it's big over there, big in Saudi Arabia, big in Asia. So this will allow so many people around the world to, get more involved, and you're going to see bigger events, more global events, and bigger stars, bigger paychecks, bigger everything. It's going to be pretty crazy, right? 2025 for WWE is going to be pretty crazy, right? So we're looking forward to that in general. Now, we have some surprises that they're talking about for tonight. So those are apparently now, don't, quote me, but I've been hearing stuff about John Cena, Pat McAfee that are confirmed, I believe, right? Confirmed. And then they've been talking about The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and a few other people. So I can imagine that you're going to see some of the old. They like bring up the WWE legends. So you're going to start seeing some of the older guys probably in the audience or whatnot. You're going to see some pretty good matches. Apparently, it's going to be pretty interesting. Now, what I've been hearing is that there could be some new championship titles. Apparently, I don't know, and there could be some, a possibility of maybe some sort of crossover or whatnot. So depending what Netflix might be pushing at the time, they might try to tie something else in. And this might be, one of those things that they start doing, right? Because if you have the ability to sign a contract and Netflix says, okay, you know what? We are going to, because remember, it's not the network anymore. It's not the USA Network or Sportsnet or Fox or whoever that are adding these commercials. It's, Netflix that's going to have that control, right? Like, I mean, if they're going to add stuff or whatever, it's probably been negotiated with WWE, and I'm sure they said, because I mean, you have to be smart. I mean, you'd be dumb if you didn't. If I was Netflix, I'd say, whenever we have new content, we have something launching or whatever, we want the right to be able to tie something in or broadcast our commercials or put something on your skirts or whatever, right? Try to tie something in. So therefore, Netflix takes advantage of all these people. I mean, they're already on Netflix. So, I mean, what do they have to lose? There's some cross promotion, right? If they can make it work. And I hate seeing ads, right? But I mean, I'm looking at it as a moneymaker or not. Hey, I'm a customer here. So, I mean, that's the type of stuff that happens. But Netflix, now WWE's been doing this for so long, but Netflix, they're usually very, very good at their productions and are able to, do something very stunning, right? They're saying that there may be some really good storyline developments, and what we've been seeing are some really stale, the Dirty Dom and Liv Morgan, and that the crusty CM Punk storyline, and oh my god, I want to choke myself every time I think about the Solo Sokoa bloodline. Friggin' oh my god, it's just these things drag on, and I think what they need to do, and hopefully see that is with a time frame more wrestlers, more creativity. Hopefully, they're able to kind of knock these things out because it gets tiring sometimes when you're trying to go through anywhere from 3 to 6 months of some plot that's really ridiculous, and then just to kind of change it up a little bit, Dom, Rhea Ripley, and then Dom Liv, and then like it just makes no sense. Terror Twins, no sense. A lot of things make no sense, and it adds no value for people watching. So I think one of the things they should focus on is you come up with a storyline, you go, this is going to be, you look at Raw, you know, Raw, it should, I mean, usually it's about 4 weeks, right? 4 Mondays in a month or whatever. So if you got the 4 Mondays in a month, you just say, hey, listen, we're going to try to bang out the storyline within these four next episodes. So it's the initial confrontation, right? The actual problem or confrontation, the climax, and then, the end story, right? So you do it one kind of part per Monday in the month, and you close it off, you call it a day, and that's it, and get rid of it, right? And that would make things a lot better. I have a suspicion, please don't hate me for this, but I really do have a suspicion that, they probably just drag this stuff on for the women. And before you give me some dirty looks through, your speaker here, I find it's not me watching with my bros at a bar. I'll tell you something, right? I mean, I spend time watching with my wife and kids, and I mean, my daughter and my wife are the ones that love these storylines. They'll sit here and watch, and I mean, I'll go do shit. I'll do other shit. I'll be honest. Some of these get so corny, I just go and walk away, right? But they like the storylines. And then when I ask my wife, hey, what do you enjoy? What is one of your favorite aspects of WWE? She goes, oh, I like the storylines. So, I mean, that's one aspect. Maybe you do things a bit different. Maybe make more of the soap opera storylines for the women and make the men's matches, just come out and beat people up. That's what you want to see, right? I like, storyline. I like some storylines. I think that's what makes it stand out. When I want to just see people hit people, I just watch UFC. But when I just want to kind of have entertainment, right? Sit around with the family, the dog, maybe somebody pops over, you have a few drinks, some popcorn chips, whatever, nachos, and you're watching wrestling, WWE. It's great. So, I enjoyed in that regard. So you have to kind of look at how you want to take it. Right. I just don't want storylines. I mean, maybe you do. I don't want storylines that are, 6 month storylines about something stupid like a bracelet, CM Punk and Drew McIntyre fighting, to death for a cheesy ass bracelet. Right. Like, I mean, real life doesn't even work like that. Right. Like, I mean, it's just so corny. And so you saw how it got just too corny and they got rid of that and found something else to do with those guys. That was just wasted time, right? Wasted time, wasted matches, wasted storyline. They could have done so much more with that, right? So hopefully stuff like that changes, right? No more of that. But I think you are going to see so many more, matches. These are supposed to have Roman Reigns versus Solo Sikoa, CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. I think a last woman standing match, and for the world's championship for women. John Cena's doing a farewell tour. Travis Scott apparently has a performance. See, we're all over the place on this. So we're just a lot of things going on. So it should be kind of interesting. It has been said, and this is probably not going to happen. I've heard about Ed McMahon being there. And I don't think that's going to really happen, but I mean, that's very possible, I guess, in whatever world that we live in today. Yeah, a lot of cameos, a lot of guys popping in, stuff like that. We'll see what happens, right? Hopefully it's as good as we want it to be. And then we'll be in the mix with it. You know what I'm saying? It's just a great, a great event. Now, what's next for WWE? Rumor has it And I think rumor had it that SmackDown, I remember hearing SmackDown, somebody said, well, SmackDown is a bit tricky because they have their own roster and they're going to be doing a lot of cross promotions. But when you look at the scale of what Raw will be, apparently, to what SmackDown is going to be, and, really what NXT is, I mean, you look at that comparison, and I believe what's in the works, and it's already been discussed, is that SmackDown is going to be the next uh, show going over to Netflix. So basically, what's happening right now, there's a contract, with their current providers. But I believe what has been talked about is if this seems to be going good with Raw, then they're going to look at bringing SmackDown over. And then after that, I mean, or during that, probably NXT as well. Realistically, the whole end game is to have the entire WWE and UFC on Netflix, streaming live, having all the video and archival footage, and in a long-term contract. And this allows, it allows WWE to do what they do best, right? The thing is that when you have to manage not only um, live streaming and broadcast rights and different carriers, and you have to really watch out for your storylines. You have to look at where things are going, fines, payouts. There's just too much. When you look at Netflix, I mean, it's all on paper there, and you agree for these things. You say, hey, listen, we're going to swear, this is going to be R-rated, right? They could say, oh yeah, okay, that's good. And you've seen, whether it was David Chappelle, which, a lot of people don't like his stuff, some stuff, from Eddie Murphy, and, there's some random stuff that's been on Netflix that has been kind of controversial. So Netflix, is not like they're, shy to controversy, and it's going to be something that, people you're going to hear, probably some angry, your typical angry, woke Karens that will be complaining that their kids are watching people get beat up and there's swearing and boobage and stuff like that. But hopefully that doesn't really, cause too many problems. I think they're at a point right now where, when everybody agrees on something, then it makes something like this even much better. Part of the problem sometimes is you see that they agree to do a show like this. Let's move things to Netflix. Let's do a great show. Blah, 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 blah. They get the wrong people involved, and it turns out to be a complete mess and dictated by a whole bunch of Karens, and, kind of like anything by Disney or Marvel or whatever else goes on over there where they kind of screw everything up. So, we're definitely happy that this wasn't something that, you know, they signed a deal with like Disney Plus, became super woke and made it crappy. Uh, Basically, all the wrestlers, the management, executives, whoever, they kind of agree on this direction. So it was maybe a bit different in the Divas age back in the Attitude Era, where there were some questionable times. But nowadays, you know, a lot of the talent, they know what they sign up for, and they're willing to do what it takes or do what they signed up for. So you do see, both men and women just doing some spectacular stuff, and, going through these storylines. These aren't, as I said, the pervy storylines of the 90s. These are some, empowering kind of shit. And if you enjoy that, that's good. But at least you know that it's nothing that Karen's going to go nuts about, and nobody's getting taken advantage of. So just going to be pretty awesome. So, what we're looking at, Netflix tonight, 8 o'clock. Don't quote me on that because I don't know what time zone you are in or your country or whatever. So check your listing there on Netflix. You could actually log on, check out content. and posted already on WWE Network, quote unquote, on Netflix. And then when it pops up tonight, get your nachos, your chicken wings, and watch some wrestling with your family and have a great time, right? Hopefully you enjoy it as much as we're going to enjoy it. Hopefully we're going to enjoy it as much as we hope to enjoy it as well. So hopefully as well, and I've said hopefully and as well so many times now, but make sure you check it out. Let us know your thoughts. Like and subscribe. And we'll talk to you the next time on our dedicated WWE podcast channel. How about that? Stay tuned.